Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the anniversary edition of Women's LIK. Yay!
Yes, exciting!
Oh, I can't believe it. I felt quite emotional watching that. Actually, it was really
fantastic.
Yes.
I mean, look at what we've achieved and how far we've come, and all the people we've talked to. What an achievement, guys!
Amazing guests we've had on.
Amazing. That was brilliant.
It's just gone so quick.
I know.
Quick.
It's just for those anyone watching for the first time, we are Women's LIK. We're a women's chat show, and LIK, it was Susie's idea, stands for laughs, ideas, and knowledge. So it's a brilliant concept, and we have had a few laughs along the way, haven't we? And we gained a lot of knowledge as well. Oh wow,
it's been good, but
it's been
1 year.
So I know. And can anyone remember the first show? I mean, I know who the first guests were, and I looked back on it as well, and even looked back. So it was Ricardo P. Lloyd, wasn't it, our first guest?
The actor, yes,
and
amazing.
We had Taylor as well.
Yeah,
I looked back on the book, All the Boys.
Yeah,
and it was amazing, wasn't it? And Ricardo was like a young actor, budding actor, and he's amazing. I've been following him as well. He's done so much. So that was a brilliant
show.
He's going to
go far, isn't he? He's going to go far.
I know.
Yeah. But to celebrate the year, I was going to say, just quickly, I'm so eager to kind of let you know that, look, a whole year, ladies, I'm happy to share that, to pop this with all of you. Looking forward to it. So I've already started, sorry.
Oh, wonderful. Can't wait. Oh, and she's got something there as well. I've got my I'm sorry, in the right spot. My gin and tonic with my UltravisionTV glass. Got my lemon. Not too much.
Got a little shot. A little shot of Courvoisier. Here's to you guys, and here's to everyone for watching and taking part and asking questions. Thank you so much for your participation and your support.
Cheers to all of you.
Cheers, everyone.
And here's to us. Thank you.
Thank you for the great. I like the bit on the bottom. Thank you. It's a really great day, isn't it? I just still can't believe it. We've done 12 shows. Amazing. I just cannot believe it.
I've quite got used to doing the whole 12 o'clock thing, get myself ready and get forward to the whole program ahead. It's actually a nice routine at the end of the month. It's a very nice routine, and it just feels good to do that. And I still get kind of nervous. With you,
still feel that. Even feeling that today.
I think it's good to be a bit nervous.
It's the excitement as well, isn't it? The nerves is kind of like the opposite of kind of the excitement. So I'm staying with the excitement rather than the nerves.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got to say, I spent my morning painting it. My son's just bought a house, and I spent this Sunday morning painting at his house. I literally just washed paint off my hands and then put a dress on. So I've been painting up until about maybe what feels like 11:30, and threw this dress on, and then literally washed. I think I've still got dots of paint on my arm. So sorry, guys, but it's been a
very high fashion
interesting morning. Interesting weekend.
Mine was quite serene when I woke up this morning.
About him, but good luck to him in his new house.
Bless
anyway.
him.
Yeah,
bless him.
I know.
I was going to say that mine was quite serene this morning. When I got up and just had a nice bath, relaxed, did some meditation, so I was kind of calming. But as I'm getting closer and closer to time, I'm kind of getting, okay, 1 year celebration. What's it going to be like? Excitement and this rush of energy.
It's always a bit like that, isn't it? What about you, Susie? What have you been doing this morning?
Yeah.
This morning has gone really quickly. I spoke to my dad. I'm going to see him at the weekend coming to go to the Birmingham Book Fair. And my husband's gone off travelling for the first time in about 3 years for work. So that was a bit weird. And the whole morning went really fast. So I was really keen to get myself set up properly and get my lighting done so you can actually see my face for the first time.
Such a beautiful face, Susie.
I've always been aware. Thank you. I've been aware that I've not not been properly lit probably for most of the episode. So I got the table ready and got my backdrop ready. So I really went for it, basically. I was really going to say that, this is a year in. I'm committed to this stuff now. I'm going to give it my best shot.
It's looking good. Is it a lizard or what is it? A lizard on your thing?
Is. Now, if you read that word there, can you see what it says?
Is that back to...
It's like Disa.
Yeah.
Disa.
It's actually, I know cameras, it actually says Ibiza.
Oh,
Ibiza.
Yeah, because I'm
Wow.
filming live from Ibiza, not.
I was going to say which part of Ibiza. I love it. It's a beautiful island, actually.
Yes,
She's like
It's a stunning
wishing.
island.
Yeah.
So anyway, listen, have you guys, I mean, we've obviously sort of like, I mean, we've had 12 shows. I've had a look to see that we have had 12 shows. And I think about things like when we had Jenny Russell on and she talked about pelvic floor, a topic that we don't normally talk about. And that for me was like really, I'm doing the exercises now as we're talking. As soon as you mention pelvic floor, we do our
squeezing.
Well, what I keep thinking is of like how it's a sort of topic that we don't talk about, and we really need to talk about it, especially we're a women's chat show and it's a women's issue, isn't it? And, you know, if you do have children and if you know, and if you've had a lot of children, you know that it's important, you know, your body changes and how important, you know, I know it's sort of like it's our 1 year show, but things like incontinence, and that's why we have to think about our pelvic floor.
Yeah.
So I think Jenny Russell, she did a really good job talking about it. You know, it really is important.
She did, and she brought it home to me because I mean, I didn't have children naturally. I had 2 cesareans, and she said even if you've had cesareans, you still need to be doing those exercises, which was a surprise to me because I just kind of thought, well, you know, it's only for women who have had their children naturally that they needed to kind of make sure that those muscles are strong enough. So, like you said, to avoid incontinence and all those kind of things. But so that was news for me. But yeah, so I've been practicing as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I think it's important to talk about all those women's issues, but I love bringing people like Cece Phillips to the table with her sort of artistic endeavours and, you know, all of the women that are creative. I love that side of, you know, being able to explore and talk to people about their work and their art. And I follow her, and she's doing amazing things. She's been in so many shows, both in the UK and in Europe. And I love the chance to talk to an artist, a Black artist, who I think is going places. I think lots of our guests have been that kind of thing. You know, you've got Rudolph at one end, who is very established.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of looking back on his career, his acting career. And then we've got Ricardo, who's at the beginning of his acting career. And, you know, so it's nice to do the sort of end to end, you know, people who are really established and got all these stories and they've got all this great, you know, portfolio of work. And then you've got people like him who are just, you know, tipping at the edge and about to burst in. So I think it's been really exciting actually to explore, you know, Black talent and Black creativity and, you know, hashtag Black excellence. For me, that's been, you know, a real joy actually.
Yeah. And I was thinking, forgive me, I've forgotten his name, but the cycle guy. Oh, forgive me.
CK Flash.
CK Flash.
Yes,
CK Flash with the MBE.
Yeah, it was amazing. I just like the idea of, you know, he's working with these young people and he's getting, you know, right kind of support around them to kind of like grow into their craft, and also thinking, you know, after they've done what they're going to be doing, that they've got an amazing kind of support system around them to kind of keep continuing growing and kind of setting up businesses and things like that. It was really, really inspiring.
And even somewhere for people to live as well, because he did accommodation.
Yes, that's right.
As well,
yeah, absolutely.
So that for me, he's got his finger in so many different pies, and
doing it all well, all of it really well. Yeah,
and having successes with Kai White, and I've forgotten the other guy's name from the Olympics, having successes with all the cyclists as well. I mean, that for me, and the thing is, he's so grounded. Just he's not showing off about it. He's sort of positive and grounded. No, it's just it's great. And we've had some other inspirational guests, the likes of Roshan Dorset, who created the grocery shop. And that for me, the fact that she's so young, and she's like a young head on really old shoulders of the knowledge that she has. You know, you meet youngsters who don't want to do anything, and then to meet her and she's got all these ideas, and she's been featured in Vogue magazine and all sorts. For me, that, you know, I just think what an inspiration. I'm just so impressed. Just like absolutely impressed.
And the products are amazing, absolutely amazing, because I'm still using some of them even now.
There's so much sort of talent out there. Business talent. And also there was the guy Marvin from Dope Black Dads. Is it Martin?
It was Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison.
It is was Marvin.
Yes.
Don't Black Dads.
Yes.
And, you know, just talking about relationships and being a father, and it was really good. Obviously, with Women's LIK, we have our own perspective.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, as women, we are, many of us, in relationships with men, although not exclusively.
Yeah.
And I think it was really good to hear his perspectives on fatherhood and, you know, different sort of dynamics in the relationship and his approach. And I think, you know, I love talking to women entrepreneurs and women business owners and creatives, but I think to hear the perspective of men is really important as well. Because, you know, that's as a community, that's kind of where we need to be. We need to build that dialogue between the men and the women, because we're all doing really amazing things. But I think sometimes the relationships between men and women can be a little bit complicated, certainly in our community.
And it's good to see Black Dads in a positive light, because we know that often the Black Dads are getting bad press, and we know that it's not for all. It's, you know, in every culture, whatever, there's bad and good, and so it's good to see them promoting dads and Black Dads in a positive light. It's got to be done. So it's not everyone is the same. But speaking of dads, I'm thinking about Lorna Phillip, who was the birth doula, and perhaps I needed her when I was giving birth and having children. I think about the nightmares that I had when I had children and when I had Sasha, and I really needed support. I was a single mum at the time, I admit that, and it was hard. I know that. I had my mum's support, which was I really did appreciate, and my sisters as well. But if I'd had that birthing doula with me, I think I would have coped perhaps better. And then I had my son. It wasn't that bad. I did it again. But you know, just the support, someone to maybe you know, say, I've got this issue, or I'm worried about this. I just think that everybody needs a birth doula. You know,
I would agree with that, definitely.
But you make a good point, because when I was having my children, I'd never heard, well, I had actually heard of a birth doula, because one of my friends is a birth doula, but apart from her, I'd never heard of that. And also, my friend she was actually quite educated in sort of midwifery and the whole thing, so I probably wouldn't have been able to have afforded her anyway. But I think what Lorna's doing now is she set up the Black Mama's Birth Village, so that mums can access affordable doula, but in bigger groups and that sort of thing. And because I think it's, you know, for single parents, it can be quite a stressful time to go through on your own without, you know, your network around you. So I think what she's doing now and how she's developed, you know, her business is fantastic, because, you know, women need to support women. That's what we're all about.
Definitely. And you talking about business, do you remember we had Yvonne Witter, who was talking about business? She was like our business development expert. And we know that, and I until I joined Instagram, and this is fact, I didn't know there were so many Black businesses out there until I joined Instagram. I've discovered a whole world out there. This is in the last, let's say, 2-3 years. And it was just like Yvonne was pointing out the defects and the positives, obviously, but you know, you go to this restaurant or cafe, and it might be Caribbean.
Food takeaways, yes.
And you've got the thing up, you know, you've got these logos up saying, I've got signs up saying we've got, you know, patties, and we've got dumplings, and we've got everything. Then you ask for those things. We've got everything. We ask for those things, and the person tells you it's not in. So, you know, could you put a sign up to say that we haven't got these today? But do you know what I mean? So Yvonne pointed out the flaws in businesses and then told us the positives as well, and where you can get better. So I did really like having her on as well. And, you know, there are cracks, but we can sort of fill those cracks and get better and improve.
And then the other business, I was thinking of Carlton Brown, who came on.
Oh, he's amazing.
His business was of the scale, isn't it? I mean, globally, the Marshall and Brown, and, you know, rum cakes, and just the product line that he's got, and everything, the excellence and the awards that he'd won, and just doing some amazing, absolutely fantastic business.
I know, but I didn't know that was him, though. I mean, I've been seeing those all the time, but not knowing. I'm just
another very humble guy.
He's so humble.
I think you have to remember, though, that, you know, black people have been in business for all from the beginning. I mean, look at, you know, Madame Walker, who made her, you know, hair
first millionaire in America. Yeah,
exactly. You know, and then, you know, with Dyke and Dryden, we've had not just in the hair business and catering business, but we've been in everything. You know, the first the guy that invented the traffic lights was a black man, he's an engineer, you know, so this is why Black history is important, because a lot of us,
Definitely.
you know, grow up and we kind of only know a half of bit, you know, we know a little bit about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and then there's all the rest that we don't know. So I think maybe in this year moving forward, we can maybe look at focusing more on Black people who've made a business that maybe not everyone would know, because I think sometimes you think, oh well, I thought everyone knew that, but as you said, Sandra, you don't know it, and you know, you do need it. You need it to be shared and shared widely. So I think we can pick up that torch, can't we?
Definitely. I don't know if you ever go on to things like Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, but on there you actually see, let's say there's an example where this African guy, I think he was in Ghana, and he was getting rubber from tires and then making sandals out of them. Now that for me, you know what I mean? This is how it started. This is how a man picks something up and has an idea, and then he puts it on his feet. You know what I mean? And that for me is what you call business. That's like, you're an inspiration. You know, you know, they're always wondering. People are sending things to different countries, aren't they? And oh, she might need this toy, but that child may not need the toy. That's not everything. It's about what can you develop. And in certain countries, they're developing it themselves. You know, I've just discovered I can make these shoes. But that for me is an inspiration. I love things like that.
And it's about recycling. It's about recycling as well, isn't it? Because I remember watching. I'm not a TikTok person, but I remember watching an African woman who was actually making tables out of those tires.
Wow.
Which was
wow.
And that was in Africa, and she had most of it was kind of what felt like very old-fashioned ways of kind of working and the cutting and everything else. But she did the artwork that she did with making those tables out of the similar tires. There's so much that is out there that our you know, the Black people are actually doing and making, and it's just like you're saying, just giving them the visibility to you know, so that they know what we're doing, and also teaching the children, showing the children that look, you know, there are people that have been doing these for centuries, for decades, for whatever, and you yourself are creative enough to be able to come up with your own ideas, and not for that to be squashed. To allow them the space to do that.
Yeah, you might have come across a chap called a company called UltraVisionTV, and it's I can't remember the guy's name, but he basically has a whole entrepreneur movement with young Black kids. And he develops their businesses. So they will develop, I mean, they're all really young, and they have these amazing ideas. And there was a big show at Wembley, I think it was last week.
Yes.
And he's got all these kids, and they are just, I mean, they're entrepreneurs, and he helps them bring their business idea to life.
That's
and I
amazing.
think, yeah, that's the future. And they're, you know, they're selling things like
start them young,
absolutely. But they're also looking at tech businesses and all sorts of things. And you think, you know, and sometimes some Black kids, we don't get that encouragement from school, or they don't get that encouragement at home even, you know.
Or have the opportunity.
Exactly. So there's, you know, he might be someone we could talk to, because I think his vision about encouraging entrepreneurship is fantastic, because not all kids are going to want to, you know, there's nothing wrong with this, but go to school and go to university and
traditional routes.
Some of them, it's not for everyone, and some people have just got an idea and they want to just go off and do it and make a business, and that's how their mind works. They are entrepreneurs in their head. So I love the idea of encouraging that in our families.
I think one other thing as well is that when I was growing up, and you saying about encouraging and doing things, I think we're getting healthier within our Black community as well. We're recognising, you know, ailments, diabetes, ailments that we have, hypertension, maybe high cholesterol, things that lupus, even things that are in the community. And when I was growing up as a child, I didn't see my parents working out. I did see my dad working out, but not my mum. She was obviously too busy, and I know that. And she wouldn't have known exercise, because she'd think that she's walking and she's doing her exercise. You know what I mean? We'd walk everywhere, which was her form of exercise, but it wasn't intentional. So, you know, showing your kids healthy eating. I mean, our parents gave us rich food, and I appreciate it. And even now, I appreciate everything I ate. But there wasn't any, you know, perhaps you're having a bit too much carbohydrates. They wouldn't have perhaps known deep down what you were really, you know, what it was, sort of thing. But showing your kids about keeping fit and even being healthy. So the likes of having Marvin Ambrosius talking about wellness, even wellness coach and neuropathic nutritionist, all that is so important right now. But we didn't have it, but we knew that we were being encouraged, but not as best as they could, as you know what I mean? It was a different time.
It was,
what you're saying, sorry.
I was going to say it was different for me because I grew up in a family, in a household where we were all very sporty. I've got 4 brothers, football, cricket, athletics, and I played netball. So health and fitness was always a big thing in our family. So I kind of grew up around that and carried that through into my adulthood, and kind of put that teaching and that learning for my own children about moderation in terms of food and all those kind of things. And they've kind of gone off and now exercising themselves. I've got my daughter, if she's listening, sorry, darling. She hated it because I remember taking her out one day and it's like, come on, we're going to keep going. Come on. Do you think you're going to be like, you're going to keep yourself fit? It's like, it was a bit like brutal, really. When I look back, and I think I felt really sorry for her. But I was just trying to kind of get, this is going to be good. And it's like, I can't do this. And it's like, yes, you can. Come on, keep going. Sergeant Major type. But it is good. And the fact is, like you said, it's about teaching our own children, and for that process to kind of carry on down the generations, that food, what you eat and what you do with your body is really important to carry you through. Because
I did the sports. At school I was good at athletics. I did all the sports, but not to the point of, my mum knew I was doing it, but she wasn't sort of, when I say involved in it, if you know what I mean. My mum going to the athletics club, that sort of thing, but not because because she was too busy. She worked nights. She was a good, my mum's a great woman, and she never had the time, but she came, I knew she cared, but it was just a different situation. But it's very important now. And that's why we've got so many wellness coaches and, fitness people around us now.
I think a lot of that is because, our parents, I mean, my grandfather is Windrush generation. And then, I think we've had a change of culture. So what happened is the culture and the food that was right for Jamaica, for example, where my grandfather was born, you needed starchy food, you needed your carbohydrates because you were working hard, the sun was hot. You walked all over the island and you built, you were working up and I mean, even now, a lot of the Jamaicans and Africans are beautifully toned and in proportion. But what's happened is when they came to this country, they started to adopt more European ways, more European eating, which then we inherited. And they thought that was good. They sort of now, and even in Jamaica now, they're starting to get more issues with health because they're eating more fast food.
Fast food, yes, that's the killer.
And also the way that
it was about the carb. I think it was more about the sugar. It was raw sugar cane. And a lot of the people have got false teeth now. No offense to anyone who has got false teeth, but because of the sugar. So it was more the sugar content, obviously, that it was like they say, if you put everybody in a forest and we all lived there, doesn't matter what nationality you are, we'd all be the same. But because we're not all living in forests and fending for ourselves, we're all in different environments, and that's what happened.
And I think poverty as well impacted that. I mean, if you're starving, you're going to just eat some sugar cane just to keep that hunger, those hunger pangs at bay. So
definitely. I think we appreciate it. We appreciate it's a story to tell. It's our background, isn't it? But listen, do you have what's your favourite moment, Angela, from, we're talking about our year celebration. Do you have a particular favourite, episode of our Women's Link?
I do. It has to be Rudolph Walker. And not because of, where he is and how he's been around, but I'll give you the story behind it, because in the old, back in the days, I forgot what it's called, Love Thy Neighbour, that was right, that was what he starred in. His wife was called Barbie. I went to school, my first day at school, secondary school, and I was the only black child in the class. And I remember this boy called David, I'll call his first name, his name was David, he was a white boy, and he turned around and pointed at me and went, Barbie! And that was my name for the whole of school. That's what people called me, Barbie. So to come in contact with Rudolph Walker, who was the husband of Barbie, the original Barbie, not the Barbie doll, talking about Barbie as in from Love Thy Neighbour, it was just, it was
I
just
think
an
we've
honour,
got a little bit.
absolute
We've got
honour.
a clip, but it must have been amazing. I've got a clip, haven't we, that we had from when we did our show.
When I shared it with it.
One of the things that I know that as I have done with all my work over the so many years, is that I enjoy it. I enjoy it tremendously. It is. I still find it challenging. I still have that excitement when I go and sit, and I also still have that nervous tension, that nervousness. Believe it or not, even after all these years.
Oh,
That man looks good, man.
I know, he's amazing.
Lovely.
He's
I
80s.
was a child when I watched Love Thy Neighbour, and I'm a grown
Hasn't changed.
woman now.
That man
It's
looks
never
good. Oh my gosh. Oh, he was great, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's so
Really
humble,
amazing.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just an amazing, amazing man. And the
I mean,
work
being
that
an
he
actor
was
in those
doing.
days, yeah, that was, you know, there's a lot of, I mean, you being called Barbie was, you know, that's a joke, isn't it, really? And, you know, you imagine the racism that those actors had to endure in those days. You know, it's amazing to have got through all that and still be, as you say, and still be a nice, intact person, and you know, and because not to be bitter. I think it's lovely to see that he's endured all that, and you know, he's remembering the positive things and kind of editing out the stuff that's a bit painful.
Because even in Love Thy Neighbour, he was still playing a character where there was racism.
Yes.
But one maybe positive side, it showed not positive, but how he was fighting it as well. How he was, when I say metaphorically speaking, fighting that racism and sticking up for himself. And you know, it was, although it wasn't great, it was a sign of the times. And you know, things are better and we've moved on. And he acted the role and he knows that. And he said it's still being shown, I think, in other countries. So, and it's got big reviews. So yeah, so there you go. I wish him well.
It's he's doing amazing anyway. Yeah.
And what about you, Susie, then? In terms of your favourites, did you have a favourite women's LIK?
Yeah, I do actually. I mean, I loved Rudolph Walker as well, but I also loved talking to Lorna, the Birmingham doula, because I thought she was a lovely spiritual lady, and obviously bringing that kind of legacy of motherhood to Black mothers and empowering mothers at that really vulnerable time. And also, you know, being from Birmingham, I was born in Birmingham, so I had a connection there, and a lot of my mutual friends know her. So it was great to talk to Lorna.
She was great.
Explain exactly what a doula is or does.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's lots of misconceptions about doulas. So people assume that we are midwives, ex-midwives or practicing midwives. And whilst you do have some doulas who are midwives or have been midwives or who go on to become midwives, actually we are the wise women in the village.
Oh,
love it.
Wise women in the village.
Isn't it?
That is deep.
I love that.
I know, and that's the thing. It's like, you know, that sort of the mother of all mothers, you know, that kind of thing. Then even women of a certain age, you become a mother or a wise woman because you have that wisdom. You've lived long, and you can share your wisdom, and I love that.
I think that's me.
No, I think so.
I'm going to wear that crown.
Oh yeah, wear that crown, Angela.
I definitely think I'm going to make a really good grandmother. Because I know that I can then give the baby back. You know what I mean? It's like...
I'm not eager. I'm not kind of desperately waiting for grandchildren,
me,
but I'm able to kind of hang on.
Having a bit of, just to say, we're having a bit of connection issues, but if anyone is watching, but for me, it was the Mothering Sunday edition that we did this year. Obviously, we're all mums, and for anyone who is a parent, mum, you know, if you've adopted, whatever you are, single parent, we're all parents. It was when we had Victoria Nadinkham from her, you know, talking about her foundation for single parents.
Oh yes.
And we had Charmaine Walters who talked about sleeping soundly, which I you know, I needed it for me too to sleep soundly. But that for me, they were very inspirational, and well, you know, it was an important day as well. I don't know if we've got a clip from that to show of the Mothering Sunday, but you know.
How do you encourage?
I think this year has been what we've been through with COVID.
To take your advice and not slip into what may be considered like old habits or bad habits, because each child's different as well, isn't it?
Every child is different, but when it comes to sleep, pretty much, you know, sleep is something that's universal for all of us. We all need it. We all achieve it in different ways, but ultimately, it's easier to achieve when we're calm, when we're relaxed, and when we have certain things in place that are unique to us.
Good answer. I'm always drinking coffee in the clips, guys. I do sometimes. I've got gin and tonic today, and I do drink water as well. I feel myself drinking another cup of coffee there. I was like, oh, hold on a minute. No, I do drink other things as well.
It's a bit surreal
I like what
seeing
you said about the sleep, how important it is.
Yeah.
I know. The other thing is this, it's really weird because they use in some, you know, you hear about sleep torture, don't you, where they deprive you of sleep deprivation, and that they use it as a torture thing. So that's why sleep is so important, isn't it? So
it is. It can be a killer.
You know,
you don't have,
like, if you haven't had any sleep that night, then you go to work and you try and concentrate. Someone's got congratulations there. I like that. But yeah, it's just so weird.
Thank
isn't it?
you.
Yeah. That's why going to you need to sleep to function the next day, don't you? And whatever you're doing, sleep deprivation is a real thing.
Absolutely, and it can be a killer, like I've said.
I know.
If you don't have enough of it.
And I hold my hand up. I was once in a job. This is going back years ago, and
is this a confession?
I've got a confession, but people who know me knew it happened. My husband, unfortunately, sorry, Robert, if you're listening and watching, was snoring all week. So I'd gone a week where he was snoring every night. I hadn't had any sleep, and then sat with a student in an exam. The student finished her exam and fell asleep, and I too fell asleep and got a tap on the shoulder. I'm at work, remember, and I fell asleep through sheer exhaustion. And I did get in trouble for it. So anyone, you know that it happened to me. I did get in trouble for falling asleep at work, which it hasn't happened since. I make sure I get my sleep. So that is how important.
Snoring though, Sandra. I can definitely relate to the snoring. That does disturb your sleep, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So do you still have that issue with the snoring?
Or do you go to bed first and get your deep sleep before he comes in?
I sleep sometimes, but you know what it's like when you've had children. It's little things that wake you up, isn't it? Because you remember you were a light sleeper because of your kids. So I'm a light sleeper. So if I hear a noise, it wakes me up. So if I've gone into a sleep, sorry, Robert, and then somebody's snoring, then it's going to wake me up. Sorry if anyone is watching. I do apologise about talking, but it happens. It's fact. I probably snore as well, so it's fact. But yeah, so it happens.
Yeah, I'm not a light sleeper, but my husband snoring wakes me up, and I'll tell you, I need some hardcore ear defenders.
Oh, I've got plenty of those, Susie. I'll post those down to you.
Sorry, Clive.
I sleep so soundly because I share my bed.
Oh, she's lucky, isn't she? Look at her. She looks good on it as well. But we are 1 year on, and we know that Women's LIK was created, but we want to bring on our guest, and our guest is someone very, very dear to us, and he is actually the founder, one of the directors of UltraVision UK. We know him as Neville Anthony, but today we're going to be calling him Anthony. So could we bring on our guest, Anthony? We want to just ask him a few questions and ask him about how it all came about.
And he's the reason why we're here today.
It felt founder wrong, but it says founder, but we are fond.
So we are very fond of him. Yes, hi, and
very fond. Welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies. Sorry,
hey.
I'm a little bit hoarse. I'm a little bit hoarse because I was celebrating Liverpool getting their asses whooped yesterday.
And not celebrating us.
Well, I knew that was today. That was yesterday. This is today. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, guys, he's a little bit like, you know, Charlie's Angels. You know, you never get to see Charlie. This is what Anthony's like. We don't normally get to see him. So this is a very special occasion. We can see the man. Yeah, he's actually here.
Yeah,
but look, we haven't got very much time, and we want to ask you questions. Look, how, you know, UltraVision, obviously you created this. How did it all begin?
Oh my days! It's it happened in a very weird way. As again, people that know me, I do events, and I basically was doing a family community day. At that time, I was in cahoots with a Caribbean TV director and producer. Joe Spielberg is if he's still around, Joe. And long and short of it, I was traveling around the country with my job, and I'd finished work early, and I came back to the hotel, and for 2 hours I was clicking on the TV, trying to find something that was relevant to me, not just a program for the sake of a program. And and it happened. It was mid-afternoon, but then I came back in the evening and started clicking, and still, I mean, even EastEnders didn't even have a black character at the time. I think it was just one of those periods. And this happened happened again later on in the week. And then I contacted Joe and I said, Joe, what's going on? We don't really have any black TV. And he goes, this is what I've been trying to tell you. And I said, wow, this is really sad. And he's like, yeah. And then he said, tongue this one, I'll never forget this. This was a Thursday night. We had the conversation. And he said, tongue in cheek, you're smart. You know, you've got some contacts. Why don't you start your own channel? And then I went, nah, what are you talking about? TV? You know, I'm thinking of, you know, BBC, ITV, these big corporates. But I kid you not, it's like he put a spell on me, because all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this thing would not leave my TV. I'm like, TV? That's what I can say to myself, TV. And I spoke to my partner at the time. I said, what do you think about starting a TV channel? And she said, well, why not? You put your hand to everything else. You're reasonably successful. You know a lot of people. And you know, people respect you, people do trust you, put on good events. What have you got to lose? And I was like, still, I just wasn't, you know, as I said, I didn't know what TV entails. You just see the end product on the screen. Do you understand? And I think that was what I was like, I've got no idea. I don't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. But it must have been the following week on a Tuesday. And I thought, you know what? I was actually sitting at work. This, as I said, it's like Joe put a spell on me. This thing about TV would not leave my mind. I was sitting at work and I said, you know what? I haven't got anything to lose. What am I afraid of? This is one of my mantras. Don't be afraid. Like, it's a yes or no. That's how I live. You know, life to me is either yes or no. You know, the worst someone could tell me is, you know, sling your hook, or, you know, or you'll get a yes. So I was like, okay, well, who's my audience? Like, who am I, you know, so right, we're going to do a black channel. Well, how many people are actually in England? How many black people are actually in England? And just at the time where I do my own private IT courses and tuition, my lecturer was actually linking with a business coach, and they were putting on business courses where you do a business plan and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, if I'm going to do this, I need to do this properly. I need to do a plan. I need to do this. So when Joe put the spell on me, as I say, it was in June 2016. Wow. And by September, I had done the business plan. I designed the logo because I do the graphics. And I came up with UltraVision. I don't know what happened. I went online, I saw Vision. I just put it together. And I rang Joe in September. Yes, Mom. Yeah, we'll go into that.
I need a hug, Anthony.
Don't worry, we'll get one in the post. But yeah, literally in the September, I rang Joe. I said, right, I've got UltravisionTV. And he said, what? He was like, what are you talking about? I said, you forgot that what you said. And he goes, I thought you'd given up because I hadn't heard anything. I said, no, you put a spell on me, and I've been working on that spell. So we had a laugh. And I said, right, I've got some information. And it was actually quite I don't know, like therapeutic, because I started to really see the picture of how we live, where we live. Because you know what they say about these statistics, we're not even 1% of this country. And when I say we as Black Afro-Caribbean people, when I did it at the census, you know, if you think there's 70 odd million people in this country, and at the time I think it was the total number of Afro-Caribbeans or even mixed race people was just under 2 million. That's not even 1%.
Goodness.
So it was a very, you think, wow, millions sound a lot, but it's still a very niche market.
It's small.
Yeah,
Tiny,
very, very small. I mean,
comparison.
obviously that was like 10, I mean, that was 2010. There's another census obviously coming up soon. So you're hoping it's at least doubled, you know, in the time, so we've got a bigger pool to promote to. But yeah, and then we had the conversation. He goes, right, what's your plan? I goes, I don't know. You need to tell me because I don't know where I'm going from here. He said, all right, cool. Go and think about it. He goes, but you need to get your own platform. I said, Joe, what do you mean? I said, well, you're just dropping these bombs on me like you're not even giving me a chance. 1 minute is just do a channel, now get your... I said, I'm not ITV, I'm not BBC. He said, listen, technology's changed. You understand the way that even these new corporations are doing stuff. You don't necessarily need a studio. Yeah, he goes, don't worry, blah blah blah. So at the time, I'm again now rethinking about, well, what type of shows do we need? I'm making a list of shows and whatever. Not knowing, again, I hadn't really told any of my circle of friends. I was so focused and funneled on what I was doing. One of the directors, Errol, is a very, very good friend of mine. We've done several businesses together. And it was like December of that year, and I was having a conversation. And I said to him, yeah, because we hadn't spoken for a couple of months. And he goes, how's it going? I goes, yeah, I'm working on the Ultravision thing I told you. He said, oh, what are you talking about, Ultravision? I said, I told you, the TV thing that I'm working on. He said, no, you haven't told me anything.
We all have conversations like that, don't we? No, didn't I tell you?
I said, oh, I thought I told you. So I explained to him, and he went, you know what, that's a really good idea. This is what our community, I was looking at it from a community side of things, because we as a people don't really have a voice. The biggest thing we've had for us as a people, as a media, is Choice FM, and that's a legacy I don't think we'll ever get rid of, but it still lingers because it was the biggest thing for us. And it was like, right, okay, blah, blah, blah. Then there was another one of my friends at the time, not going to say his name, but, you know, we all had a conversation. So it was in East London. We all met up on a Saturday afternoon over coffee and decided that, yeah, we're going to do this. So everybody was happy with the name. Everybody was happy with the concept. Said, yeah, right, let's start this. We all sat, we're like, what do we do next? We didn't have a clue what we were doing. Said, okay, well, we got to start from the basics, isn't it? Like, let's get a camera, let's do this, let's do that. So we invested, we got a camera, we printed out some business cards, and we just started talking to people. And then we thought, yeah, let's do some sort of show, you know, let's do some show with people. And then that basically didn't transpire. And it was like a year had gone by. I tell you, time goes so quick. And in that year, at that time I was living in West London, we were doing a family reunion. And when I was actually main organisers for it. So we were doing the reunion, and this gentleman walks through the door, and I'm looking at this guy, and I'm thinking, I know your face. And I realised, oh, it's Ivor from Choice. Hold on. Is this cousin Ivor from Choice? Because he's come to the reunion. So I was like, all right, we're chatting. And then we realized, yeah, he's second cousin. We're second cousins. And then I said, listen, I know it's not the appropriate time, but if I don't say it now, I may never get to say it. I said, I've got a project that I really like you to look at. If you don't mind, could you give me your email address and I'll send it to you, you know? And he said, yeah, no problem. Very, very calm, very humble and whatever. So I was like, okay. You know, because, you know, some people could be very kind of offish or whatever, but he was really cool about it. Took his details. Anyway, literally the next day I got on, sent it, polishing everything up, make sure it's all as nice. Sent it off, and I'm like, just give me something from this, like. And then that was in the July. Didn't hear nothing. August, didn't hear nothing. Mid-September, I'm at home during the day. I think I was off, finally. I got a call. I said, oh, hi. He said, is that Neville? Neville Anthony? I said, yeah. He said, oh, it's Cousin Ivor. I said, Cousin Ivor? Ivor from the reunion. I said, oh, hi, yeah. How you doing? He said, yeah, I'm well. He said, I've looked at your project, and I think there's something there. And it was like, like Matrix for me. It was like that zoom in, zoom out moment. Because that was the first time I got any kind of verification that it meant something. You know what I mean? Myself, Errol, and the other gentleman, we were just going about it. And long story short, we've grown from there, and it's just been a fantastic journey. I'm very, very humble. I'm very, very proud that an idea has brought programs like this where we've met and interviewed some amazing people. I'm so thankful for you guys as a team who support and help to promote the channel. It's amazing, and we're still in our infancy. We're going from strength to strength. Teams organically growing. Thanks to people like Alison, who's behind the scenes right now producing. Errol,
thanks, Alison.
Thanks, Alison.
We've got she's just because he sent a message. Our first ambassador, Claude, is out.
Wow.
Hi, Claude. She's here.
Hi, Claude.
And it's been a journey that I would. I think about a year and a half ago, as we know, we had some disappointments. I would have said to anybody, leave it. It's not anything. But you know what? Life is about ups and downs, and you've got to learn from every experience. And to be honest, I wouldn't have changed this for the world, even for where we are. And I know that we haven't even reached where we need to get to.
It's been brilliant.
I've met some amazing people. And I'm just so excited right now. There's so much happening.
Me too.
Let's let people now give us some things. So we're doing a road show. We're going to Bristol, looking to go to Leeds, Manchester, and Birmingham over the next few months. We've got our final fundraising event in November. So we're going to be doing our last entertainment show, comedy, music and stuff. And I'll give a bit of a big thing. We're hoping to relaunch our own platform on New Year's Day.
You heard that from the horse's mouth himself. You heard that.
Well, that deserves cheers, doesn't it? Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
I've learned that if you put it out there, it generally does truly happen.
It will happen.
New Year's Day. But listen, Anthony, I joined in 2019. It was probably about July, which I remember, and you sold it to me. The directors Errol, Anthony, and Ivor sold Ultravision to me, and they sold it well. I'm still here now. It was, I believed in it. I walked away of that day I went for the interview feeling really great. And I was like, wow, the ideas that I've got, and you've listened to our ideas and you've taken everything on board. But tell us about your positive moments. Do you have a best bit so far?
The best bit is these moments for me, because for Errol and myself, who were really the initial founders or the initial starters of it, we just wanted a voice. We were just looking at doing these, programs, but to see when you think we've had Rudolph Walker, we've had
Benjamin Zephaniah.
We've had Johnny,
Mr. Motor, Johnny Nelson,
Mr. Motorbike. We've had some really really top stars. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And as I said, I feel proud. I'm just really proud. It wasn't about that. And then bringing Ivor on board it just brings a sharper edge. Ivor, don't get me wrong, Ivor's very much community based, but he's a businessman, and I respect him for that, because he brings a business element to it that makes you realize this is what we need to do. This is what we got to get going. And as I said, there's not one singular moment. I just know that every time we hit
definitely. I don't know. Just before you go any further, I don't know whether anyone's having sound issues and visual issues. I'm experiencing them. It might be for all. So just in case you are, remember this is real life, guys, and we're on computers, so we will have visual and sound issues. So sorry about that if you are having difficulty. So Anthony, sorry I interrupted you there. So carry on. It's just to make everybody aware.
Yeah,
that
that's fine. As I said, we'll just every time we seem to hit a block, something happens and we get over it and we get to the next level, and it takes us up a notch. And as I said, I just genuinely believe we've got 18 to 24 months until we're going to be really big, really something that people are going to be like, okay, listen, have you heard about so and so? Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
And we did put an app out there, guys. And remember, Anthony, the app, we had teething problems with our app, but the shows that will be put out there from the app, I mean, there was fitness, there was yoga, there was cookery, there's you name it, there is everything that we've got to offer. And that's the thing that I think that people are going to be shocked about. There's every show that you see on your normal terrestrial TV on Ultravision have got it. We've already got it. Angela, you've got your own show, Mindful Thoughts, and that show for me is
mental health.
I love that show, and that should be on TV now. It's brilliant. So, and even Women's Lit, we should be there now, shouldn't we? But we are on TV. We are on TV now. This is it.
It's moments like when I first talked to Angela that I love, because Angela's one is quite classic. So it was early on. It was obviously during the lockdown when we had to restructure. So Angela's like, I've got a show idea, and blah blah blah.
I'd emailed you, hadn't I? I'd given you a list of all these topics of things to mental health.
I said, right, when are you going to be filming? The phone went quiet.
Like, me? I'm not a presenter. I can't do that. And he said, well, who else is going to do it?
Nobody knows it better than you.
And the other thing is this. Somebody that I interviewed said, oh, thanks for being really nice to me at the interview. I said, well, no one knows what you're talking about. I don't know if you're embarrassed, nervous or not. I said, whatever you're saying, I don't know if it's true or not, but you said it and I have to believe it because you're the one with the knowledge of that topic. I'm not. So I ask you the question, you give me an answer, and I believe you what you said because you are the person. So, that's how it works. On your first show, you were brilliant. You were nervous. We all were all nervous, but you were
absolutely petrified after that conversation with Anthony. I put the phone down. I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's like panic. And the first show was like, I was like, can we do this?
Like, it was like a duck to water, and you could see just the growth. And I said, these are the moments meeting people like Susie again. We initially interviewed Susie, and then putting things together. This is what my forte, putting these things together and making it happen. It's just been brilliant.
And the other thing is we've learned to ad lib as well, haven't we? Like where we have to make things up as we go along, and your computer goes wrong, but you've got the mobile by the side of you in case you need it.
Absolutely. I remember the first time I met you, Anthony, was at the house by the forest. Is it Epping Forest?
Yeah, we were doing filming that day. Yeah, that's
right. And then you were interviewing me, Sandra, about my book. And I just remember I came home and I was absolutely buzzing. I just had that feeling, and I met you as well, Angela. Yeah. And you'd also interviewed what's her name? Is it Michelle?
Michelle Johnson.
Yes.
That's right. And I came home and I just felt like, and we had some food, we had patties, and just the energy was
it was
brilliant.
a pleasant day.
And I just thought, this is home. I can't describe it. I just felt so at home with everybody I met. And obviously I knew you, Sandra, from our corporate days. But felt really at home, and I thought, "Ooh, this is exciting!" You know, I felt like all the things that I wanted to do and express myself, and you know, never quite, you know, as a little girl, like most little girls, I wanted to be a TV presenter. And then real life gets in the way, and you just go off and do something kind of boring and kind of
whatever.
And then I thought, wow, look what you've done. Look what you've done, Anthony. This is you. And you sat there and you just kind of just quietly, calmly, you know, just
humbled.
You had
basically, you the man. You the man. Listen,
certainly.
We've got a question from Claudette.
Yes,
Definitely.
I can see that as well.
We have got a question which is sat on our screen. What are the plans for the next year, Mr. Anthony? Tell us.
Apart from you mentioned the road show. Yeah, you mentioned the road show.
Well, as I said, it's literally for the next year. The next 6 months is the road show, our events, and then relaunch, and then just basically, and then and just being consistent from there. Once we've done that, then obviously we've got future plans, but we need to just get this base right.
Yeah.
And then we're going to grow.
We are also looking for presenters. So if anybody wants to get involved, you know, in this, it's you have to work hard, by the way. So anyone watching, it's not a walking in the park. You have to work to build Ultravision, to build Women's LIK. We've had to work hard. We're researching all the time. We're contacting people, but you have to put the work in. Just don't forget that, guys, if you are watching. But we'd welcome, Anthony and Ultravision, the director, would welcome if you do want to apply. So it's there for the taking. So we're coming nearly to the end of the show, aren't we?
Just one quick question also. Is it in terms of looking at presenters, what about looking at people who can help with videos or editing?
Technical,
skills?
We need it all right now. We need it all.
And particularly if there's any students out there who are looking for maybe even like a work experience type thing, who are in this field, that's the kind of thing we're looking for, don't you think? What do you think, Anthony and ladies? It's that sort of thing, isn't it?
Absolutely, because I mean, this is fantastic experience for them to kind of come straight in and be able to kind of have the support of people like Anthony and the other tech people that are behind us. So, great experience. So give us a call.
Do it.
Give us an email, Instagram.
Not only that, if anybody's got any ideas for shows,
I was going to say that as well. Yeah, if you've got an own show
that you want to put out there, we're here to. This is what the platform's about. It's not, we're not just looking for polished stuff. Doesn't matter. Let us sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah,
this is a very much community. As I said, we met up the other day, and we had a great day. Having a laugh and etc. And that's how I want this hopefully to continue. I don't do well under micromanagement. I could never. When I've had that, I've never stayed in the job. So I wouldn't want that for anybody. I've never want that for anybody else. This is a family much orientated organization. If you're fun, you're gonna have lots of fun. If you want to have fun with us, we'll have a laugh or whatever. But as Sandra said, for us, it is a lot of hard work. For me, this is my full-time, part-time job, apart from my 9 to 5. So, and I'm traveling up and down the country. I'm talking with people all the time, but it's enjoyable because it's progress. It's definitely progress, and that's what's important.
For sure.
And I just wanted to say the dates for the roadshow very quickly. I was going to type it, but it's better if I speak it out because it's going to be recorded anyway. So on the 2nd of July, we're going to be in Bristol. On the 6th of August, we're going to be in Leeds. On the 10th of September, we'll be in Manchester. On the 1st of October, we'll be in Birmingham. And on the 15th of October, you guys will be back in London. So if you're listening to recording, it's still going to be recorded, so you can come back to it and then just listen out for locations in those towns and cities where we're going to be.
And we'll put that underneath the YouTube channel as well, all the dates in there. And also the next edition is going to be on June. Which date is it, Sandra, again?
26th of June. And it's a special Women's LIK, but it's a men's LIK. We'll be putting our feet up, putting face masks on, and the men, because it's going to be like a Father's Day month, the men will be taking over. So they'll be doing the interviews instead of us, and the ladies will be on holiday, and I'll be in Barbados. Woohoo!
I'll be with Sandra in Barbados on the beach, by the way.
I'll be in Ibiza in my head.
The other thing
So
is
then
this, guys. Listen, we've got to mention, obviously, this is the Jubilee. We've got to mention that we know people will be celebrating next week, whoever you are. It's 70 years, isn't it? And, you know, enjoy your celebrations if you are celebrating. It's you know, it's a joyous day for many and whoever. So have a good time, guys. And what about Women's LIK?
Women's LIK. Yes, the next date for Women's LIK is going to be on Sunday, the 24th of July.
Yeah,
so put that in your diaries now.
Just want to say quickly a couple of things. So for people that may not know, so our website is ultravisiontv.com, and all of our socials, but we're mainly on Instagram and Facebook, is at Ultravision UK. Yeah, if you want to get in contact, our contact details and telephone numbers on the website. And finally, ladies, just want to say thank you so much for your help, your patience. I know it's not easy, especially being professional mums. You know, this what's going on, but it's I know it's difficult, but trust me, you'll really appreciate it. It is really appreciated. So please keep up the good work, Susie. I will get you your mug. Don't worry, I'll get you.
I need my mug. I can't drink brandy all the time, can I?
I think she lost it. She was given a mug at the house. I think she's just lost her mug.
No. I have a key ring. I have a key ring, not a mug.
Oh, sorry about that. I thought maybe she was trying to get 2 or something. I do apologise about that.
Yeah, thank you.
And this bottle's for you, Anthony. This bottle's for you. Okay, when I see you.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, everyone.
Just to say thank you to you.
Wait for the next year. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers,
Have
everybody.
a good Sunday. Stay safe. Cheers, everyone. Anthony, thank you for all your help. Alison, behind the scenes, thank you very much.
Yes.
You've been a great producer. Thank you very much.
Okay,
everybody.
love you guys.
See you in